So do you remember when I made that video where I compared Surf's Up and Rio and I said which one was better? And how it was one of my fastest growing videos? Yeah, well, I'm doing that again, but this time I'm comparing two different movies of a similar style. That's right, it's Antz versus A Bug's Life. These two have become quite well known in animation history as they are both as the history between them has become quite famous over the years. I don't know the story exactly, but it's told from two different sides, where one stole the idea from the other, or the opposite way. No one knows for sure, but what I do know for sure is that I'm definitely comparing these two movies now that they exist, and I've seen both of them. So yeah, this is going to be another one of those comparing videos. First off, let's compare the story. So Antz is about Z, played by Woody Allen, a very neurotic worker who is very anxious about the world around him and thinks that there is more to life than just being chosen as a worker and or a soldier and at birth. But one day he meets the princess at a bar and he decides to go out as a fake being a soldier and somehow survives in a war against termites. And then he comes back and then it's revealed that he's not a soldier, and so he kidnaps the princess and then they both get sucked out of the ant colony, bumped in the ground thing, whatever it's called. And now have to make their way to Insectopia, which is a utopia for insects. Kind of obvious with the title. But something sinister is going on with the general officer, General Mandible, played by Gene Hackman. So, yeah, the plot is very unique for a kid's film. Bugs Life, on the other hand, is the odd one out. So, it's about Flick, an ant who is very clumsy. He's an inventor, but he's also very clumsy as well. One day, he accidentally knocks down the offering to the grasshoppers, because they usually collect the grasshoppers usually collect the food that the ants give them. So he decides to try and look for warrior bugs in order to fight back and not be bullied by the grasshoppers anymore. But he soon discovered that the group of warrior bugs were actually circus bugs. So yeah, it's very different stories on both perspectives. One is very gritty, not adult, and very unique, and the other is just very kid-like. That's easy to understand because, see, DreamWorks, they weren't really an animation studio. DreamWorks was a real film company founded by two of the biggest names in film, and then the third one, Steven Spielberg, who, as you know, is one of the most famous directors of all time. Jeffrey Katzenberg, who you know was part of Disney before he left after he wasn't getting the president job after the president of Disney died, Frank Wells. And then David Geffen. I don't know who he is. He's just a music guy. That's it. Yeah, so DreamWorks was more of a film company than animation. They did make some animated films, but Antz was their first one. It was definitely leaning towards that more adult angle. Whereas Bug's Life is still a kid's film. So the story goes to Antz. It's more unique and definitely has a very satirical and self-aware edge to it. Now let's compare the animation. Oh boy, I would show the animation, but you know, copyright, so I'm just gonna have to show you pictures of this back and forth. So the animation for Antz is ugly. Yeah, this is the third computer animated movie ever. So, whoopsie dupsie, it's very ugly looking. And it's not even like Toy Story where it gives it that charm. No, it's very ugly looking. But I feel like it works to its advantage because it makes the ants look more realistic and the bugs are actually on scale. And they actually have 4 freaking legs. Whereas in A Bug's Life, they're just ants. They're more cartoony. But the animation is still very much better. The colors are more appealing, the character animation is better, the characters are more expressive. I like the animation a bit better. Antz looks more realistic and gritty, but Bugs Life wins in the animation department, despite both these movies looking not good today. They're both very outdated when it comes to animation. So 1 point to A Bug's Life. We're currently tied for 1 point, but I feel like a big tiebreaker is going to be the characters, which we will get to eventually. Let's next go on with the humor. What do you think? Antz has better humor. Yeah, I feel like the humor in Antz is a lot better because it has a more like self-aware and satirical edge to it. The characters are not the most moral people on the planet, or Antz, I don't know. They still some characters have like a snobby, sarcastic edge to them, while others are just there. Whereas in A Bug's Life, I still laughed a lot in this film, but there's a lot of moments there where there's supposed to be a laugh, but there wasn't really a laugh. So yeah, another point goes to Antz for humor. But now, the big tiebreaker, the characters. I really like the characters in Antz. They are very unique. I like the cast in general. They're all very cool characters. I like I also like the cast chosen for them as well. Woody Allen perfectly fits C. Gene Hackman perfectly fits the villain. Sylvester Stallone perfectly fits the strong guy. Sharon Stone fits the love interest, and so does Jennifer Lopez. All the characters feel like they were made for these, for this movie. So does Christopher Walken for his weird performance. Of course, I feel like the characters, there could have been a few more characters than just what we have. And yeah, that's really my only problem with the characters. They're not that many, but the ones that we do have are really cool, and I like them, and I want to see some of them succeed, while others, like this guy, just die. And he does, thankfully. Spoiler, sorry. But A Bug's Life, A Bug's Life. Yeah, so positive characters first. I like Flick. He means well despite all of his mistakes, and I also like Dot, who was the younger sister of a character that we will get to. I like Dot. She's cute. She's nice. She's one of the only few people nice to Flick. I also really like the circus bugs. They're one of the most consistently funny things in the movie. Oh yeah, did I mention that Dot has an older sister that's kind of a jackass? Yeah, we get to that. I also like Hopper. He's cool. Yeah, so every other character in this movie I do not like. I kind of find Ada Haas, but at the same time, she's such an arrogant, annoying, mean little female dog. It's actually kind of irritating, and it makes me hate the character on such a big level. And I hate a lot of the other ants. I hate all the other ants. I only like Flick and Dot. That's it. I hate everyone else. They're all a bunch of snobby, stupid, sarcastic, sadistic idiots who have no common sense whatsoever. Yeah, Flick, he's a screw-up, but he actually has good inventions that could work to your advantage and make getting food for Hopper easier. Yeah, sure, it's not a good idea to support Hopper, but it's like before it probably seemed like it could have seemed like a good idea, but no. Flick's weird. Flick's an inventor. That means he's different. That means he's weird. That means everyone hates him. Oh, boo-hoo-hoo, cry me a flippin' river. But the most insulting part of the movie is what happens later on in the story, where the characters become the most one-note, cliched characters and the most one-note, cliched plot point ever created, the liar revealed story. They banish him from the camp once they find out that they're circus bugs, and they all banish Flick because he did the wrong, because he brought circus bugs, even though that the plan that he made is perfectly serviceable. They're big bugs. The circus bugs, okay, they're clumsy, but they're big. they can stand off against Hopper and his minions. Do not quote that on me. The plan, it can still work, but oh no, we gotta have a reason for Flick to come back. We have to have him convinced that he's a failure, when in reality he's not, when the whole time he was not a flippin' failure. Oh my god, I'm gonna review this in its own episode of my thoughts of in the future, and I've got a lot more to say about this. So yeah. Another point goes to Antz for characters. I like they're more enduring, likable, and have good morals, where in this movie, I only like a handful of the characters, and every other character is a jackass. So, that decides this. Antz wins. It is a better movie, not by a landslide, but just by a hill. Sure, it has outdated, crappy animation, and sometimes it can seem a little bit too on the nose, and sometimes Woody Allen's humor may be too much for some people. But it still has a very unique story, a good lean towards adults, and I like the characters. It has a good villain, and I just really like this film. I give it a 7. A Bug's Life, on the other hand, has much better animation. I like some of the characters. Hopper is a pretty good villain, and the circus bugs are also really funny. Sometimes the movie can be funny, but at the same time, some of the animation may look outdated. Some of the characters are non-common sense jerks. The story is generic, and the characters are most of the characters are so one-note, it actually makes me drives me nuts. This movie gets a 6 out of 10. So yeah, Antz is the better movie. I hope you enjoyed this very, very minimal review on it. Well, how long was the previous one? 30 minutes, not bad. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this comparing video, and yeah, make sure you subscribe for more stranger videos like this, and goodbye. I will hopefully make another one of these comparison videos. Suggest in the comments which one I should do next, which movies I should compare next. So yep, like and subscribe, and goodbye.